Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. We are back like we never left with the second half of Zatima Season 2. This is episode 11, Out of Love. So at the end of episode 10, we know that Zach and Fatima, they get into it. Fatima clearly asks Zach, did he sleep with Connie, going off an accusation that his mom, Miss Gladys, made. Zach wanted to be stubborn as hell, stubborn as a mule, quiet as a church mouse, didn't want to say a word. So Fatima told him, look, we're done. I'm through. I'm out. She leaves. Now here it is, episode 11. We open up. Fatima comes back to the crib. This time she's with Angela, just in case some stuff pop off, you know. So now we see Zach sitting at the kitchen table, drinking himself into some kind of little drunken stupor. So the minute Fatima walks in the door, now Zach has time to talk. You know, he wants to run his mouth a mile a minute now, but he's really hollering and screaming, bringing up what her deal breakers are to throw back up in her face, that she doesn't like cheaters and liars, but telling her she's a liar because of the whole therapy situation with Dr. Reed. Now, I think that we can all agree that Fatima handled the whole Dr. Reed situation totally wrong. It could have been handled differently. I personally feel like she should have never used Dr. Reed to begin with, knowing that Paul recommended him. That was number one. And number two, you don't just ambush him into that, knowing the type of person that Zach is anyway. But now we got Zach here blaming Angela for the whole thing when actually Angela tried to talk Fatima out of it before she left her house that morning. Like, girl, do you think this is a good idea? Like, she wasn't in agreement with that, but Fatima did her own thing and she called Dr. Reed and set the appointment anyway. So I'm not quite sure why he's blaming Angela, but it is what it is. So Zach then wants to know, is he that bad of a person because he got baby mamas and that he slept with a whole bunch of different women? And Fatima told him, no, it's just because you won't allow me to love you. He said, that's all I ever do. She said, what, sex? You think it's about just sex? He said, yeah, that's part of it. So Fatima asked him once again, do you love Connie? So Zach says, yes, I do, and that he effed her too. And Fatima, you know, she hauled off and slapped him. Now, I'm not in favor of her putting her hands on him because, as we know, if the roles were reversed, everybody would be in an uproar. So at this point, we all need to just keep our hands to ourselves, okay? So Zach, he tells Fatima, look, don't put your hands on me again. Fatima tells him, well, get the F up out my face so I can get my stuff. Angela, she in the background, scared as hell, shaking like a leaf, like, Fatima, let's just go. Fatima like, tuh, I ain't going nowhere. We gonna talk about this ish. Now Zach over there sitting down talking about, I don't want to talk. Oh, we gonna talk, Fatima said. We gonna talk. After all I done put up with your ass, we talking. All these hoes running around here hollering about they done been with you. All these baby mamas running around here and Karen. And I done been riding for your ass. And you gonna treat me like this because of your mama? Baby, that's all she needed to say was the word mama. And Zach, that's all he heard. He ain't hear all the other stuff. So now he done jumped out the chair like a little jack in the box talking about, Fatima, don't be talking about my mama. So now he's telling her his mama is off effing limits. Leave her out of it. She's off limits. He's tearing the house all up, throwing stuff, slamming stuff here and there. Angela back there still scared as hell, ready to go. Fatima don't give a damn. She like, you really gonna treat me like this because of your mom? And quiet as it's kept, in a little toxic relationship like this, your mammy will get thrown around a few times here or there. So while Zach over there acting like a little raging bull, he's grabbing a liquor bottle, telling Fatima like, look, you need to leave. I swear to God, you need to leave. And I'm like, I'm taking this like a little subtle threat. Like, what you gonna do, Zach? Is something getting ready to happen if she don't leave? What you trying to say? Angela, she taking heed like, girl, let's go. Let's go. She is scared, right? Fatima like, tuh, I'm not going nowhere. This is what I'm talking about. She politely pulls the chair out and she sits down and cross her legs like, and what? Like, what you gonna do? Zach, I guess he felt like, you know, well, since you don't want to leave, I'm going to say whatever it is I need to say to get you up out of here. So he proceeds to tell her just how well he effed Connie. And as he's saying all of that, Fatima, she's taking her ring off and she slings it across the room. And Zach is like, oh, so you gonna sling my ring? You gonna throw my ring? Get out. Take this B with you, talking about Angela, calling her out her name once again and calling Fatima a liar, which, hell, you just lied. But hey, it is what it is at this point. So I got a little confused because Zach tells Fatima that she's just like her. The person that you judge, you're just like her. So I don't know if he was talking about Connie or if he was talking about Miss Gladys. But I'm going to go more towards Miss Gladys. But then I'm like, well, when did Fatima ever judge Miss Gladys? I mean, when we first meet Miss Gladys, she show up to the house looking all beat up and bruised. Fatima helps this lady damn near throwing her back out, trying to help her get on the sofa to lay her down, and only to be disrespected, telling her how she don't like her and accusing her of everything, and then saying how she likes somebody else better than her, calling her out her name and this and that and the other. She show up to her house begging for $50 and still calling her out her name, but you saying Fatima judged her? Like when, sir? If somebody can tell me when Fatima judged Miss Gladys or Connie, drop down in the comments and enlighten me, because I might have missed that. So Fatima was like, forget all what you talking about. She stood up and told him what I've been waiting for her to tell him for the longest time.
Zach, you think you're the only one that can go out and fuck somebody? Huh? Is that what you think? Because I've been keeping niggas off of me out of respect for your ass. But no more. You don't respect me? Then fuck my respect for you.
So Zach, he stands there sniffing his snot and trying to play victim, claiming he don't even give a F no more. Child-boo. Fatima was like, Angela, come on, let's go. Mind you, she didn't get any of her things, so she left empty-handed. So they leave, and Zach, he's still in his feelings, screaming to the top of his lungs, kicking stuff around. At some point in time, Zach, you just are going to have to grow up, and that's just the bottom line. So we go over there to Fatima's parents' house the next morning, and the mom is getting ready to go try to meet Fatima at her job because she wanted to apologize. But Fatima ends up coming over there so she could let them know that her and Zach broke up, and there's no need for the two of them to go over to the house because she won't be there, and that she'll be staying with Angela until her apartment is ready. The mom apologized for her behavior. They asked her, was she okay and all that, with the whole breakup thing. And the mom, of course, wanted to know, did Zach actually put his paws on her? And Mr. Henry and Fatima was like, she wouldn't be with anybody that would do that to her. So, they just wanted to make sure she was okay. And she's like, she's on her way to work. She'll just go to her old storage to get some stuff. And I'm like, Fatima, where you got this little black dress from, girl? It's cute and stuff. But, that's not what you had on last night. And I know you can't wear Angela clothes. So where it came from, girl? So they asked her, does she want to come back for dinner? She told them she'll give them a call. So they say their I love yous. Fatima, she heads on out. And of course, her mom, still being shady towards Zach, is like, oh, it's best it happened now, this and that and the other. I'm like, this lady a trip. But what I really want to know is, when are we going to find out what this secret is? So we head over there to Rise Ventures, where we see Zach slumped all in the chair, looking like a little sad puppy. It's a wonder he even made it there after he done got drunk and then act a whole donkey the night before. But he's there, not working, but he's there. Bryce comes in and, still talking about this whole Valerie deal, knowing that Zach doesn't want to do it, but still pursuing the issue. And Zach is like, no, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. He's telling Zach that he found somebody that'll loan them the money. And Zach was like, well, who is it, Gary? He says, no, it's not Gary. But Pete, that he doesn't tell who it is. So that could be something on later down the line. Who is this big secret loan person? Who knows? So they start talking about the whole making a pass at Zach thing, and they go back and forth about that. Zach's mind is not really on that. He wants to know, does Bryce think that he sabotages things? And in a nutshell, Bryce told him yes, in a deep kind of way. And before they can go any further with that conversation, in walks Nate Dogg and Big T. They see Bryce, they so happy they don't know what to do. Like, what's up, Bryce? We ain't seen you. Where you been, dog? You ain't even been balling with us. What's up? You been out there, with that girl, getting that big old booty. And Bryce like, oh, you know I like the booty. Baby, you should have seen the look on Zach's face like if only y'all knew. So Bryce was like, look, I know y'all didn't come to see me. Y'all here to see Zach, so I'm going to head on out. So they're still trying to invite him to come play basketball. Nate's calling him this little sexy devil. Tony's slapping him all on his behind. They laughing, chopping it all up, and Zach's standing there looking. And when Bryce walks out, he was like, the two of you need to be careful. And Zach like, because if you know like I know, all these little displays of affection can have Bryce, thinking something totally different. So they asked Zach, was he okay? And Zach was like, yeah, what's up? They say they heard about what happened between him and Fatima. Zach was like, well, what did you hear? And I'm like, yeah, what did y'all hear? Because the only person who would know anything would be Angela. So how do you two know is beyond me? And why are you even worried about it? It's like morning time. You two already on apps and worry about other people's business. Y'all don't have a job to go to. I mean, really? Anyway, they tell him that Fatima put single on her profile, and Zach was like, well, damn, already? And they was like, well, the streets want to know if it's true. Zach did confirm that they really broke up. And, of course, Nate is like, well, what did she do? So at first, Zach was like, he didn't want to really talk about it, but he did end up telling them that the reason they broke up was because Miss Gladys told Fatima that he slept with Connie. So Tony and Nate going back and forth about whether or not Zach hit it or didn't hit it and all this and that. And Zach was like, look, I didn't do it. He admitted he did not sleep with Connie, and we all kind of already knew that. So they're trying to convince Zach to go out. Nate says he met this new chick, and she can get tables and bottles at the little open mic nightclub or whatever that they go to. And Zach had to remind him, like, dude, you're a whole married man up out here. And hell, I forgot all about Lori. Like, y'all need to bring Lori back because we like Lori and we need somebody to keep Nate in check. So they end up convincing Zach to go out with them. They're going to go home, change clothes, and they'll come back and pick him up. And they do the whole Zach attack thing and, they head on out. So we get over there to Angela's house, and Fatima, she comes in after her day at work, and Angela told her to grab a glass if she wants something to drink. So, they pour a glass of wine, and Fatima, she wants something a little stronger. Angela tells her they have some weed. So Fatima was like, that's what's up. And she's like, look, I don't really want to sit in the house all night being unhappy. So she was like, we should go out. So Fatima, she suggests that they go out to dinner. And of course, Angela is down with whatever. So Fatima was like, well, that's what's up. Let me just make this quick little phone call. So she calls Paul, asks him, does he want to go out to dinner? Of course, he's down with it. He don't question a thing. She asked him, can he get a friend that will be willing to go hang out with Angela? So he was like, well, let me make a couple of phone calls. So, it was confirmed. It was a little date. And she says she'll text him the details. So when she hung up, Angela was like, well, it's like that. That's what we doing. And she was like, yep, it's like that. I'm getting back to me. I went and got all my little sexy dresses out of storage. And basically it is what it is. Angela was like, are you sure, girl? She was like, yeah, I'm sure. And don't ask me that again. So they got up and went to start getting dressed and prepared for their little dinner date with Paul and the mystery man. So we head over there to Zach's, where we see him getting ready to leave the house. And we see Mr. Henry walking up, and he asked Zach, can he talk to him? And Zach was being a little rude, in my opinion, at first. Like, you ain't really got no reason to be over here, blah, blah, blah. Did she send you? And he was like, no, she would never do that. So then here come Deja out on her little balcony, and she's smoking her little weed, and she was like, hey, neighbor. And Mr. Henry, he all smitten, and he like, hey. And Zach like, excuse me, I think she was talking to me. So Zach was like, I see you moving around much better now. So she gives him this little quick little twist and turn, knowing doggone well nothing is wrong with her. So Deja tells Zach, it sounded like y'all was breaking something over there last night. Zach said, we fine. She said, well, what broke though? I said, I know that's right. I still want to know what was breaking. And she was like, who is that? He said, I'm Henry. I'm a Capricorn. She was like, basically, she don't do old men. But then she wanted to know, was that his car? And he was like, yes. So Deja was like, well, what do you do? So he proceeds to tell her everything, that he was a retired judge and lawyer. And Deja was like, oh, you got money. And then she was trying to tell him to come down there to the little strip club, wherever she's stripping at. And Zach was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He tried to, hey, let's go in the house, trying to protect Mr. Henry now, because he know if Deja gets her paws into Mr. Henry, it won't be nothing nice. So they get inside, and Mr. Henry thanks Zach for saving him from Deja. And he says, you know, Fatima and your mother are a lot alike. And I said, wait a minute, push pause, hold up. So I really don't know if this was just like a slip up by the actor who plays Mr. Henry and they just didn't edit it out or reshoot it. Or is this part of the secret that we don't know about yet? Does Mr. Henry know Gladys? Inquiring minds would love to know. You guys drop down in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are. Was it just a slip of the tongue that they did not edit out? Or could it be part of the secret? For real, for real. So Mr. Henry got down to business. He said, what's this I hear about glass breaking? And Zach was like, oh, it was nothing. He really don't answer the question because quiet as it's kept, he was the one breaking up all the crap up in the kitchen. And he was like, well, you know, her mother did the same thing with me over a woman just like Deja. So, you know, they done had their little tiff and taffs before back in the day. So Mr. Henry told him, look, I just wanted to come here and apologize for, you know, how things went down the night before. So they get to talking, and basically I really enjoyed the conversation. He was really the voice of reason between him and Fatima. So Zach tries to tell him all about the whole Connie situation, and Mr. Henry was like, well, did you sleep with her? Like, why you just won't tell the truth? And he says, well, you know, he just let Fatima believe what she want to believe and how, you know, nobody thinks he's good enough for her anyway. I'm like, oh, they go playing that victim crap again. And Mr. Henry was like, you just scared and, you know, you just basically running, thinking something bad's going to happen. And Zach is like, why I keep hearing the same story? So then Zach tries to bring up Fatima lying about the therapist, and Mr. Henry told him, look, I did tell her she was wrong, but what is wrong with you talking to somebody? You know, the black men have it hard enough. You know, sit down and talk, let it out. Zach tries to throw in the fact that she got a referral from Paul. And Mr. Henry was like, okay, and plenty of people going to try to talk to Fatima, but, you know, she keeps being attracted to guys like you who are runners, who just want to run away. And that's ironic that he say that because Zach always tells Fatima that she's the runner. But now he's in a hot seat getting accused of being the runner. Interesting. So, you know, they go through all of that. But basically what I like that he told him was, you need to man up and you need to fix it. Give it another chance. Sit down and talk to Fatima. So then Mr. Henry had to let him know that he still got that South Side Chicago in him still, and went to talking all street, letting him know I'm still that ninja. And Zach was like, you a judge, why you talking like that? He said, hey, it is what it is. So Mr. Henry told him once again, you need to go and fix it, but don't take too long, because when people are hurting, they tend to do stupid stuff. And Zach was like, well, what you think I'm getting ready to do? And he was like, not you, Fatima. And from that, it sounds like he's speaking from experience that maybe one of his women, he took too long to make things right, and they went and did whatever they did. So Mr. Henry told Zach, like, this conversation never happened. Basically, he was never here. And, you know, he's getting ready to leave. He tells Zach he has a nice place, and he asked for Deja's phone number. He told him, so you think I could get her number? And Zach said, you think you can get shot? Like, Zach don't want no parts of that. So Zach told him he appreciated him, and Mr. Henry left. So we get down there to the little club. We see Angela, Fatima, Paul, and his friend. They're laughing, having a great time, enjoying each other's company while listening to a live band playing Frankie Beverly and Maze Before I Let Go, jamming. And, you know, Paul, you know, asks Fatima, like, you know, are you going to tell me what's up with you and Zach? She tells him that they broke up, and he says that he's sorry with a little smirk on his face. So it's kind of like sorry, not sorry. And, you know, he was like, seriously, though, I am sorry that happened to you guys. We hear someone on the mic, and Angela was like, Fatima, look, we got a problem. So Fatima was like, what's up? So we look on the stage. We see it's Belinda. She is the MC of the night for the open mic night. And, so the two of them, they get ready to stand up like, girl, we finna go. We getting ready to get up out of here. So Belinda spots them leaving and she calls them out and basically tries to kind of apologize on the sly in front of the crowd. Like, I had a friend that I did some foul-ish on, blah, blah, blah. And she basically calls Fatima out so she can come up and sing in front of the audience, saying how she used to, be so good in college at all the talent shows. And then Angela was like, look the other way as they get ready to turn around and leave. And Zach, Nate, and Tony are standing there looking like everybody's looking at Fatima because Belinda got all eyes on her. And it's like, damn. So Fatima was like, you know what? Forget this. She goes up on the stage. So Fatima, she gets up on the stage and Belinda, she's up there talking about hopefully we can be friends again. And Fatima basically had to snatch the microphone out of her hand. She thanks the crowd or whatever. And then she starts singing Alicia Keys' Falling. And she does a great job at it. We know Crystal in real life can sing, and she does a great job here in the club in front of the crowd, basically talking to Zach as she points to him and let him know, yeah, I'm talking to you, sir. I'm talking to you. So, the crowd was loving her. They were feeling her. So she gets off the stage and she goes and get her purse and stuff, and she summons Paul like, let's go. Paul gets up and he looks at Zach. And, he follows behind Fatima. And Zach couldn't do nothing but just drop his head. And it was like, damn. And the episode ended there. Ooh, child. So Zatima is back and on fire. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode, episode 11. Did anyone feel sorry for Zach when Fatima walked out of that club with Paul? Let me know. Thank you guys for all of your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you on episode 12. Peace.